Imagine, if you will, that your imagination is not just a fleeting fancy, but the very workshop of God. Yes, you heard me correctly. Your imagination, that inner world of thoughts and images, is the creative power of the universe itself, individualizing you. This is not hyperbole, my friends, but the fundamental truth of existence. In the next hour, you have the power to completely revolutionize your life. How, you may ask? By understanding and applying the law of assumption. This law states that your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner assumptions. What you believe to be true, what you accept as real in your imagination, must and will manifest in your physical reality. Now let us delve deeper into this concept. Your conscious mind may rebel against this idea, citing past experiences, current circumstances, or logical arguments as to why this cannot be true. But I tell you with absolute certainty that your subconscious mind knows no limits. It does not argue, it does not question, it simply accepts and manifests. Think of your desire, that which you wish to experience in your life. It matters not whether it is wealth, love, health, or success. Whatever it may be, know this: it already exists in the infinite realm of possibility. Your task in this crucial hour is to bring it into your experience through the power of assumption. But how does one assume? It is simpler than you might think. Yet it requires a shift in consciousness that many find challenging at first. To assume a state, you must think from it, not of it. Let me explain the distinction, for it is vital to your success. When you think of a desire, you acknowledge its absence in your life. You see it as something separate from you, something to be attained. But when you think from a desire fulfilled, you embody the state of its realization. You live, move, and have your being as if it were already a fact in your world. Consider a man who desires financial abundance. If he thinks of wealth, he may say to himself, I want to be rich. I need more money. In doing so, he affirms his current state of lack. But if he thinks that, he embodies the consciousness of a wealthy individual. He feels the satisfaction, the security, the freedom that wealth brings. He does not wish for it. He knows it as his current reality. This, my dear friends, is the crux of the matter. In the next hour, I challenge you to assume the state of your desire fulfilled. Feel it, live it, breathe it, as if it were already yours. For in truth it is in the realm of imagination, which is the very substance of reality. Now some of you may be thinking, but Neville, how can I feel something that isn't yet true? And to this I say, your physical senses show you only a shadow of reality. The true substance of things is not in their physical form, but in the consciousness that gives rise to them. Remember the words of Scripture. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your faith, your assumption, is the very substance of your desire. It is the evidence that precedes physical manifestation. In this next hour, I urge you to enter the silence of your own being. Close your eyes to the world of shadows and open your inner eye to the reality of your imagination. See yourself as you wish to be. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the fulfillment of your desire realized. Do not concern yourself with the how or the when. These belong to the realm of manifestation, which follows the law unfailingly. Your part is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to live in the end as if it were already accomplished. Let me share with you a technique that you can use in this transformative hour. It is called the pruning shears of revision. Just as a gardener prunes a tree to promote healthy growth, you can revise your day, your week, or even your entire life to align with your desired reality. Here's how it works. Before you sleep tonight, review the events of your day. But instead of accepting them as they appear to your physical senses, revise them in your imagination to match your desire. If you had an unpleasant interaction, reimagine it as harmonious. If you faced a financial setback, see it as an unexpected windfall. This is not denial or escapism. It is the highest form of creativity, for you are literally rewriting the script of your life. Remember, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the physical world. As you engage in this practice, you may find that doubts arise. Your rational mind may interject with reasons why your desire cannot be fulfilled. Do not fight these thoughts, for what you resist persists. Instead, gently return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Let the peace and satisfaction of that state wash over you, dissolving all doubts and fears. In this 1 hour, you have the power to set in motion forces that will reshape your entire existence. But understand this, the law of assumption is not a one-time event. It is a way of life, a continuous state of being. You must persist in your assumption until it hardens into fact. Think of it as planting a seed. You do not dig it up every day to check its progress. You water it, you provide the right conditions, and you trust in the natural process of growth. Similarly, once you have planted the seed of your desire in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind, you must nurture it with consistent assumption and unwavering faith. Now let me address a common misconception. Some believe that this teaching encourages passivity, that by simply imagining, one need not take action in the physical world. Nothing could be further from the truth. Action will follow naturally from your changed consciousness, but it will be inspired action led by an inner knowing rather than the frantic doing that stems from a sense of lack or fear. As you assume the state your wish fulfilled, you will find that opportunities present themselves, doors open that were previously closed, and synchronicities occur that seem almost miraculous. This is the law in action, rearranging the circumstances of your life to match your inner assumption. But remember, the outer world may not change instantly. There is often a time lag between your inner assumption and its outer manifestation. This is what I call the interval of time. During this period, you must hold fast to your assumption, regardless of appearances. This is where many falter. They assume the state of their desire, but when they do not see immediate results, they revert to their old patterns of thinking. But I tell you, the law is infallible. What you persist in assuming must manifest. It is not a question of if, but when. In this transformative hour, I urge you to be bold in your imagining. Do not limit yourself based on what seems probable or possible, according to your current circumstances. Remember, you are not bound by your past or by the opinions of others. You are bound only by your own assumptions. Dare to assume greatness for yourself. Dare to imagine a life so wonderful, so fulfilling, that it takes your breath away. For you are not a mere mortal struggling in a world of chance and circumstance. You are a divine being endowed with the creative power of the universe itself. As we near the end of this crucial hour, I want you to understand the profound responsibility that comes with this knowledge. For if your imagination creates reality, then you are the author of your life story. Every experience, every relationship, every circumstance in your world is a reflection of your inner assumptions. This may seem a heavy burden at first, but in truth it is the key to your liberation. For if you have created your current reality through your assumptions, then you have the power to create anew. You are not a victim of circumstances, but the master of your fate. In the remaining minutes of this hour, I invite you to make a decision. Will you continue to live at the mercy of your habitual thinking, accepting whatever life seems to hand you? Or will you take up the mantle of your divine creativity and consciously shape your world through the power of assumption? The choice is yours and the time is now. Do not postpone your good. waiting for some future moment when conditions seem more favorable. The only moment of creation is the eternal now. In this very instant, you can assume a new state of consciousness that will transform your entire existence. As we conclude this transformative hour, I want to leave you with a final thought. The practice I have shared with you today is not a mere technique or a clever psychological trick. It is the very essence of creation, the modus operandi of the universe itself. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are aligning yourself with the creative power that brings worlds into being. You are claiming your birthright as a co-creator with the divine. This is not arrogance or hubris. It is the recognition of your true nature. So go forth from this hour with a new understanding of your own power. Let every thought, every feeling, every inner conversation be a conscious act of creation. Assume the best for yourself and for others. For as you lift yourself to higher levels of consciousness, you lift the entire world with you. Remember, the law is absolute. What you assume, you become. There are no limitations to what you can be, do, or have, except those you accept in your own imagination. So dream big, assume boldly, and watch as the universe moves to fulfill your desires. In closing, I remind you once again, this will work for you. Not in some distant future, not after years of struggle and effort, but right now, in this very hour. The power is within you, waiting to be acknowledged and expressed. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, and use it now. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but contribute to the transformation of the entire world. You are the light of the world. Let your light shine brightly, illuminating the path for all who seek a better way. Go now and create the life you desire. Assume the best, expect miracles, and live on the state of your wish fulfilled. The world is waiting for you to realize your divine potential. This is your moment. Seize it with both hands and never let go. For in this 1 hour, you have been given the key to unlocking the infinite potential that lies within you. Use it well, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. The power is yours. The time is now. Assume your greatness and step into the magnificent reality that awaits you. Remember, this is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice. Each day, each hour, each moment is an opportunity to realign your consciousness with your desires. Be vigilant in your mental diet, feeding your mind with thoughts and images that support your assumptions. As you go about your day, carry with you the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Let it infuse every action, every interaction. Speak, think, and act from the state of one who already has what they desire. This self-pretense or deception, it is the highest form of truth. For you are claiming the reality that already exists in the realm of infinite possibility. In the face of contrary evidence, stand firm in your assumption. The outer world may not yield immediately to your new state of consciousness, but yield it must, for it has no choice. It is the shadow, and you are the light that casts it. Change the light, and the shadow must change accordingly. Be patient with yourself and with the process. Rome was not built in a day, and neither is a new self-concept. There may be moments of doubt, moments when the old patterns of thinking try to reassert themselves. When this happens, gently but firmly return to your assumption. Remember, what you persist in assuming persists in manifesting. As you continue this practice, you will find that your entire perception of reality begins to shift. What once seemed impossible becomes probable, and what was probable becomes certain. You will start to see opportunities where before you saw only obstacles. You will attract people and circumstances that align with your new state of being. This is the law of attraction in action. But understand that you are not attracting things to you from the outside. Rather, you are awakening to the reality that already exists within you. The outer world is merely conforming to your inner assumptions. In this light, consider every experience in your life as a gift, a reflection of your consciousness to be embraced and, if necessary, revised. Even seeming setbacks or challenges are opportunities for growth and realignment. They are showing you where your assumptions may still need adjustment. As you master this practice, you will find that your creative power extends beyond your personal life. You have the ability to assume the best for others as well. See your loved ones as they wish to be seen. Assume the best for your community, your nation, your world. For as you lift your own consciousness, you contribute to the elevation of collective consciousness. Remember, you are not separate from the world around you. You are an integral part of it, a unique expression of the divine creative power. As you assume states of greater harmony, abundance, and love for yourself, you make these states more accessible to all. In this 1 hour, you have been given a tool of immense power. Use it responsibly, use it lovingly, and use it consistently. The results may not always be immediate, but they are inevitable, for you are working with the very substance of creation itself. As we come to the close of this transformative hour, I urge you to take a moment to reflect on what you have learned. Feel the enormity of the power that resides within you. Embrace the responsibility that comes with this knowledge. And most importantly, put it into practice immediately. Do not wait for the perfect moment or the ideal circumstances. The perfect moment is now, and the ideal circumstance is your current awareness of your creative power. Begin now to assume the state of your wish fulfilled. Feel the reality of it. Live from that state, and watch as your world transforms around you. Remember, this practice is not about forcing or manipulating external reality. It is about aligning your consciousness with the truth of your being. As you do so, you will find that life begins to flow with greater ease and grace. Synchronicities will abound, and what once seemed like obstacles reveal themselves as stepping stones to your desired reality. In the days and weeks to come, be vigilant in your practice. Guard your mind against negative assumptions and limiting beliefs. Cultivate a mental atmosphere of expectancy and wonder. Look for evidence of your assumption manifesting in your world, and give thanks for it, even before it appears in physical form. For gratitude is a powerful amplifier of your creative energy. When you give thanks for your desire as if it were already fulfilled, you align yourself even more powerfully with its manifestation. Gratitude puts you in a state of receptivity, opening you to the good that is already yours. As you go forth from this hour, know that you carry within you the power to reshape your entire existence. You are not a helpless victim of circumstance, but a divine creator, molding the substance of the universe with your assumptions and beliefs. Use this power wisely. Use it to create a life of joy, abundance, and fulfillment, not only for yourself, but for all those whose lives you touch. For as you elevate your own consciousness, you elevate the consciousness of the entire world. In closing, I remind you once again, this will work for you. It is working for you right now, in this very moment. Your assumption of the state of your wish fulfilled is already in motion, already reshaping the circumstances of your life to match your inner vision. Trust in this process. Have faith in your own divine nature, and above all, persist in your assumption. For what you persist in assuming must inevitably manifest in your world. Go now and create the life you desire. The power is yours. The time is now. Assume your greatness and step into the magnificent reality that awaits you. For in this 1 hour, you have been given the key to unlocking the infinite potential that lies within you. Use it well and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. The power is yours. The time is now. Assume your greatness and step into the magnificent reality that awaits you. This is your moment. Seize it with both hands and never let go. For you are the author of your life story, the creator of your reality. Write a story of greatness, of love, of abundance. Assume the best for yourself and for all of humanity. And as you do, know that you are fulfilling your divine purpose, expressing the infinite. This is the promise and the potential of this one transformative hour. The seeds have been planted. Nurture them with your unwavering assumption, water them with your faith, and watch as they blossom into the magnificent reality of your choosing. The power is yours. The time is now. Go forth and create miracles.
After April 25, 2025, there will come a great stirring within the hearts of those who call themselves by his name. Not because a trumpet has sounded in the outer world, but because something ancient and eternal has awakened within. The old garments of fear, of separation, of waiting for permission to be divine, these will fall away like worn-out veils. The stirring will not come with chaos, but with stillness. It will whisper to each soul, "You are not who you thought you were. You are who I have always known you to be." This is not a time to look to the skies and wonder if the heavens will break open. The veil will tear not above but within, and the tearing will be gentle, like dawn light dissolving shadows. You will begin to see differently. People you once judged as lost, broken, or distant from God, you will see them and know there is Christ also. The line between the sacred and the secular will blur until all becomes radiant with the presence. Do not be surprised if your prayers change. They will not be begging cries to a distant throne, but quiet affirmations from one who knows that what is desired already is. You will speak not to get something, but to reveal it, because from this moment onward the word shall become flesh more swiftly than before. Thought, belief, assumption, these will crystallize into experience, not through effort, but through consciousness. Every Christian will feel the shift. Not all will understand it at once, but all will be touched. Some will resist, trying to hold on to the old wineskins of doctrine and fear, but the new wine will not be contained. They will come to see that what they called faith was often just waiting. Now faith will be known as the bold acceptance that it is done already within. After this date, the mirror of the world will reflect the inner self more clearly. Whatever is held in the secret place of the mind will rise to the surface. This is not punishment, it is revelation. If you hold love, you shall see it. If you harbor bitterness, it will echo until you are willing to dissolve it. The world will become your canvas and your confession. The time for hiding is over. Many will begin to remember dreams they never dreamed. Memories of the soul's true identity will return like old songs hummed from the deep. Some will weep, not from sorrow, but from the recognition of glory long forgotten. And with the remembering will come power, not the power to control others, but the power to imagine boldly and know that imagination is the first act of creation. After April 25th, Christians will no longer look outside for the kingdom. They will hear the words differently now. The kingdom of God is within you, not a metaphor, not someday, not far off, but here. Now, and you, the imaginer, are its door. The world may not know what has shifted, but the awakened will. The old timelines, the expected patterns, they will crumble. Some will try to explain it with logic, with news, with politics, but you will know it is the unseen hand of God within us, writing a new chapter not on tablets of stone, but on the living hearts of those who dare to believe. And what will begin to unfold will not be a religion renewed, but a consciousness reborn. And what will begin to unfold will not be a religion renewed, but a consciousness reborn. It will not be through the loud cries of institutions nor the echoes of ancient rituals performed without understanding, but through the quiet knowing rising in the individual soul. There will be a recognition that what we have called God has never been far, has never been absent, has never withheld, but has waited patiently in the silence of our own being for us to awaken. After April 25, 2025, Christians will begin to understand that the second coming was never meant to be observed in the clouds, but in the awareness dawning in each one who dares to see God in themselves. The veil of unworthiness, the long-held belief that God is out there and we are down here, will melt in the warmth of inner illumination. The Spirit will no longer be a visitor. It will be known as the permanent resident within. People will feel an odd stirring, a hunger they cannot name at first. It will not be a hunger for more things or louder sermons, but for quiet, for truth, for the sacred in the ordinary. They will begin to withdraw from the noise, not as an escape, but as a return to the center, the still point within, where the voice of God has always whispered, "Be still and know that I am." The churches will feel it, the pulpits will feel it, some will try to suppress it, for this awakening will not conform to man-made hierarchy, but the Spirit will move as it pleases, and no structure, no tradition, no fear will be able to contain it. For the time has come when truth shall no longer be held behind robes and rituals, but shall be written on the hearts of the many. And they will prophesy, they will dream dreams, they will speak words of life, not because they were trained, but because they were called. Those who have long prayed, "Thy kingdom come," will suddenly realize it has come, not through the shaking of mountains, but through the rising of consciousness. It will feel like remembering something long forgotten, an ancient knowing that was always there, hidden behind years of conditioning and fear. Fear will begin to lose its grip, slowly at first, like the thaw after a long winter. But it will go. The fear of lack, the fear of judgment, the fear of punishment, the fear of death. These will begin to crumble under the weight of a deeper truth, that perfect love casts out fear, and that love is not merely God's attribute, it is the very essence of the one who breathes through us. Many will find themselves unable to speak of God in the old way. The words won't fit anymore. They will no longer be able to call themselves sinners, not because they are prideful, but because they have remembered their origin. They will speak with humility, not false humility that cowers, but the kind that comes from knowing who they are in the I am. And this knowing will not puff them up, but make them deeply compassionate, for they will recognize God in everyone, yes, even those they once called enemy. The idea of waiting will lose its meaning. No more postponing joy, healing, peace, or salvation for some future day. After April 25, there will be a spiritual urgency, not of panic, but of clarity, a knowing that now is the appointed time, that what you assume to be true of yourself now becomes your world, that faith is not hoping something might happen, but assuming it already has. Some will be startled by how fast things change. They will think a thing and it will come to pass. They will speak a word and see it return fulfilled. Not because they have become gods apart from God, but because they have accepted their oneness with the Creator. What was once mystery will become intimacy. Life will begin to reflect what is held in imagination. This will be the mark of the awakening. No longer will people pray from lack, but from fulfillment. They will close their eyes and see themselves as healed, whole, provided for, loved, and the world will respond, not out of obligation, but as a mirror to the one who imagines. Even nature will seem to respond. Birds will sing sweeter, the wind will carry messages, sunlight will feel like it touches the soul. This is not poetry, it is perception. For the awakened ones will no longer see separation between the divine and the material. All will be one. All will be sacred. The grass beneath their feet will be holy ground, not because of superstition, but because of awareness. Relationships will shift. Those who have lived in cycles of pain will begin to see they were not victims but participants in a dance they didn't know they were choreographing. And once they know it, they will change the dance. They will stop rehearsing wounds. They will imagine new stories, new connections, new beginnings, and they will manifest. There will be resistance, yes. The old self will not vanish without protest. It will rise and try to convince you that you're just imagining things, that you're not worthy, that you must earn this grace. But something deeper will speak louder. The I am within will say, you are already that which you seek. You have only to believe. Christians who once looked only to external authorities will discover their own voice, and they will be startled by how divine it sounds. They will write, they will sing, they will speak, and in their words there will be life. The breath of spirit will animate their imagination, and they will become creators, not spectators. Some will weep when they realize how long they carried burdens they never needed to carry, how long they waited for permission to be loved, but the tears will be healing waters, washing away the lie of separation, washing away the shame of believing they were anything less than sons and daughters of the Most High. Children will feel it too. They will begin to speak with wisdom beyond their years, for they have not yet forgotten what many adults are now remembering, and the elders, those who once believed their time had passed, will be reawakened. For this awakening is not bound by age, gender, denomination, or culture. It is for all. The sacred texts will open in new ways. Words once read with duty will now blaze with light. Passages once interpreted through fear will now reveal themselves as invitations to freedom. For the lens has changed, the reader has changed, the veil is lifted. Even the concept of time will begin to shift. People will live more in the present moment. They will release the weight of the past and stop anxiously projecting into the future. For they will know now is the only place where creation happens, and they will cherish it. They will speak less and mean more. It will be a strange season. To the world it may look like chaos, old systems may tremble, institutions may shake, but underneath there will be a stillness, a knowing, an unshakable peace, because those who have awakened will walk by a different light. They will not need to argue or convince. They will simply be, and in their being they will carry presence, a presence that heals, uplifts, and awakens others by its very nature. And the greatest miracle will not be in signs and wonders, though those will come. The greatest miracle will be that people will remember who they are. They will remember that the kingdom of God was never far, never future, never somewhere else. It was within, always. And this remembering will not lead to pride, but to deep reverence. For when one truly knows who they are, they also know who everyone else is. The veil drops for all. No more sacred the secular, no more chosen the forsaken. Only one body, one spirit, expressing in infinite form. After April 25, 2025, the invitation is open. Not everyone will accept it at once. Some will cling to the old wineskins, to the familiar chains. But the invitation will remain. It will not come with threats, but with whispers. It will not coerce, but call. And those who answer will step into a life not of effort, but of alignment. Not of striving, but of surrender. Not of waiting, but of becoming. And becoming, they will find that they were never becoming anything at all. They were only awakening to what they already are. And with that awakening, something sacred will begin to unfold in their daily lives, not with fireworks, but with quiet miracles. A thought of peace will suddenly dissolve years of anxiety. A moment of gratitude will shift the entire atmosphere of a home. A simple act of love done in silence will ripple across timelines. No one will fully understand how such small things are producing such great waves of change, but those who have eyes to see will know. It is the power of awakened awareness. For the one who is awakened does not pray from desperation anymore. They commune in certainty. Their words no longer beg, they declare, not with arrogance but with authority. They speak not as ones trying to be heard by heaven, but as ones who know heaven lives in them. They speak, "Let there be," and it is so. Not because they command from ego, but because they harmonize with the divine frequency of I am. The inner world of the believer will become more real than the outer one. They will understand that the outer world bends to the inner conviction, not the other way round. When they walk into a room, they will know they carry the presence of God, not because they are trying to impress, but because they have become a living tabernacle. The presence is no longer something they visit on Sundays. It is something they carry every day, everywhere. This will affect how they see lack. Scarcity will begin to feel like a foreign concept, for they will come to understand that all provision flows from the state of being, not the toil of doing. They will assume the feeling of abundance, and the world will respond. They will no longer chase provision. Provision will appear as they walk in alignment. The struggle for survival will fade as they realize they were never meant to survive, they were meant to create. And so their work will change. It will no longer be driven by fear or obligation, but by joy and purpose. People will begin to leave behind what drains them and step into what sets their soul on fire. And as they do, they will not fear lack, for they will see that the universe, God in motion, rushes to support the one who walks in truth. The right connections, the right ideas, the right opportunities, they will come, not because of striving, but because of resonance. Worship will change. It will no longer be confined to music or church buildings, though those things may still have their place, but worship will become a state of being, a breath taken in awareness of the divine, a laugh shared in pure joy, a meal blessed not by ritual alone, but by the gratitude that overflows from a heart full of knowing. And in that knowing, the sacred will return to the ordinary. Even language will shift. People will begin to choose words that speak life. They will not waste their breath rehearsing limitation. They will catch themselves mid-sentence, stopping negative declarations and rephrasing with power. I am tired because I am restoring. I am sick because I am healing. I am afraid because I am learning to trust. They will speak as those who know their words are seeds, and they will plant them with care. Relationships once built on dependency and fear will transform. People will begin to love from fullness, not from emptiness. They will stop looking to others to fill the void, because they will have found the well within. And from that well will flow a love that does not grasp, does not control, does not manipulate, but sets free. People will begin to let go with grace. Forgive with ease. Bless those who leave and cherish those who stay. All from the awareness that everything is always working together for good. The dreamscape of many will shift. Night visions will become vivid, almost tangible. Instructions will come in dreams. Comfort answers confirmation. It will no longer be strange to say, I dreamed it and now I see it. For the veil between the seen and the unseen will thin. More people will understand that the imagination is not a place of fantasy, but of formation. What they rehearse in the invisible will show up in the visible. They will all say the same in the visible will show up in the visible. Children will speak of things they could not have known. Elders will have their strength renewed. The lonely will find that the presence has never left them. The grieving will begin to dream again. Those cast out will rise. The ones who were mocked for believing too much will be sought after, for their faith will begin to produce undeniable fruit. And the fruit will not be just for themselves, but for all who taste of it. It will become impossible to stay small. The old roles will no longer fit. People will look in the mirror and no longer see the version of themselves shaped by trauma, by generational fear, by religious guilt. They will see light. They will see truth. And with that seeing will come boldness, not to dominate others, but to walk fully in who they are. The timid will speak, the tired will rise, the forgotten will remember. And money, yes, even money, will no longer be a master or mystery. It will be understood simply as a symbol, a shadow of belief. Those who once labored in lack will realize it was not money they were chasing, but worth. And as they begin to see their own worth, provision will come, not through manipulation or fear, but as a reflection of a new identity. They will give freely and receive freely. They will no longer hoard, for they will know the source is endless. Miracles will become normal, not just the physical kind, though those too. Bodies will be healed, minds restored, addictions broken, but more subtly, the miracle of joy in the mundane, peace in the middle of uncertainty, love in the face of rejection. These will be the quiet signs that the kingdom has come near, and not only near, but here. Some will be startled at how easily their reality shifts. A problem they once fought for years will dissolve in a moment of alignment. A desire once held at a distance will manifest as soon as they release the need and simply know it is done. People will start saying, things just work out for me now, not as a cliche, but as a living truth. And the more they affirm it, the more it will become so. Old cycles will lose their grip. Generational patterns will end, not through struggle, but through revelation. A woman will wake up one morning and realize, I am not my mother's pain. A man will forgive his father and feel his shoulders lift. Families will heal, not all at once, not all easily, but undeniably. And those who once felt like exiles will become bridges for others to cross into freedom. There will be no need to argue doctrine. Those who awaken will speak little of belief and much of being. They will not try to convince others through debate, but through demonstration. Their life will become the message. Their peace will preach louder than any sermon. Their joy will prophesy. Their abundance will testify. And many will ask, what has changed? And the answer will be simple, I remembered. And from this remembering, a new community will be born. Not one based on conformity, but on resonance. People will gather not out of obligation, but out of shared vibration. They will celebrate the divine in each other. They will laugh more, judge less, create art that moves the soul, build businesses that bless the earth, teach children to dream bigger. They will not wait for the world to change. They will know the world is responding to them. And slowly the collective atmosphere will begin to shift. It may not be reported on the news, it may not trend on platforms, but hearts will feel it. Something holy will move through the streets. Kindness will increase. Coincidences will multiply. Synchronicities will become language. A thought of someone will be followed by a message from them. An idea imagined will open a door the next day. A prayer spoken in stillness will echo in the world. And all of this, not because something came from the outside, but because something was released from within. After April 25, 2025, the invitation will stand to choose this moment to awaken, to remember, not to try harder, not to earn, not to strive, but to say with inner authority, I am. And in that declaration, the walls will fall, the chains will break, and the light will pour in, not because the world changed, but because you did. And the world had no choice but to follow. Because the world is not separate from the one who sees it. The world bends to the observer, reflects the internal weather of the soul. It's always been so. And now after the shift, more will begin to see that they are not at the mercy of external forces, but architects of experience. Not spectators, but authors. They will realize they've been given dominion, not over others, but over their own state of being. That this is the true inheritance, that this is the promise. Those who were once asleep in the illusion of powerlessness will rise from their slumber. They will see that what they once called fate was only their unexamined assumptions hardening into form. That the so-called facts of their lives were just beliefs given enough energy, enough attention. And with that recognition will come the key. They can change it. They can revise it. They can redeem the past by changing their reaction to it, for nothing is fixed, not even memory. And in revising memory, they will alter the trajectory of their entire lives. They will not wait for apologies to be free. They will not wait for permission to shine. They will understand that forgiveness is not a favor done for others, but a liberation of the self from the bondage of resentment. They will say, I forgive, because I no longer choose to live in the vibration of pain. And in that moment of decision, the body will begin to heal, the spirit will rise, The mind will clear, because resentment binds and forgiveness releases. Even time will begin to feel different. Hours will stretch or compress according to inner flow. People will lose interest in the frantic ticking of clocks and begin to move by rhythm, by intuition, by spirit. They'll realize the difference between productivity and alignment. That when they're in alignment, things happen through them, not by them. That in the flow of spirit, effort is minimal and impact is maximum. They'll begin to trust silence, no longer needing to fill every space with sound, because in the stillness, they'll begin to hear, not just with ears, but with knowing. They'll begin to recognize the voice that has always been guiding, always been whispering, "This is the way, walk in it." They'll stop ignoring that voice, they'll stop second-guessing, and when they follow it, doors will open with ease. The striving will cease. Not because they've given up, but because they've finally understood there is nothing to prove. There never was. That what is truly theirs does not need to be forced. It flows to them. That destiny is not a distant destination, but a vibration, a frequency they tune into by becoming it. The inner work will become the outer miracle. Old prayers will take new shape, no longer "God, please do this," but "God, in me, I give thanks that it is already done," no longer begging but assuming, no longer waiting but walking in it. And as they live in the end will become the beginning. The unseen will clothe itself in form, and they will know it wasn't chance, it was choice. Even language about the divine will evolve. People will stop speaking of God as out there and begin to say, "I and the Father are one," not as blasphemy but as birthright, not as arrogance but as awareness. They will revere God not by shrinking but by expanding. By living as vessels of love, peace, power, they will embody the Word. Become the Word, speak the Word, and it will not return void. The old self, once built on fear, on shame, on separation, it will fall away, layer by layer, until only the light remains, until only the truth remains. And the truth is, they were never broken, never forsaken, never unworthy, only unaware. But now they are waking up. They will begin to rewrite the stories they've lived under, stories of limitation, of failure, of generational pain. They'll say, "That's not mine anymore." They'll tell a new story. "I come from favor, I walk in grace, I attract good, I am loved beyond measure," and reality will align to the new script, because the subconscious accepts what is repeated, and the word made flesh begins in the repetition of belief. Communities will feel the shift, not all at once, but subtly. The neighbor who was once cold will begin to soften. The angry friend will begin to ask questions. The estranged parent will send a message. Not because someone preached at them, but because something shifted in the unseen. A vibration changed, and hearts respond to the new frequency. Even enemies will feel it, and many will be disarmed, not by argument, but by presence, by love that is not weak but whole. A love that holds boundaries, speaks truth, but refuses to hate. A love that says, "I see the light in you, even if you don't." And some will awaken simply because they were seen, simply because someone believed in their light. Those who once obsessed over prophecy and timelines will stop fearing what is to come. They will realize that prophecy was never about predicting doom, but about inviting transformation. That the signs were not warnings of wrath, but reminders to awaken. They will stop looking for Antichrist and start embodying Christ consciousness, not as a future event, but as a present reality. Yes, some will resist, some will mock, some will hold tightly to the old, because it feels safer than the unknown. But even in them, the seed will be planted, and in time, when the soil is ready, the seed will break open, because truth cannot die, it only waits. And in the waiting, the world will keep shifting, the atmosphere will keep rising, Those who awaken will create new systems, education that empowers, economies that uplift, art that heals. They will not try to escape the world, but transform it, not from above, but from within, because they know now the world is an extension of consciousness. Change the root, and the fruit must follow. They will no longer fear the dark, for they will see that light is not the absence of darkness, but its transformation. They will not run from shadow, they will integrate it, heal it, bless it, and in doing so reclaim the power that was buried beneath shame. They will no longer divide themselves into holy and unholy. They will see the sacred in it all, the broken, the blessed, the becoming. This is what it means to be reborn, not to become someone else, but to remember who you were before fear named you, before shame shaped you, before you believed you were anything less than divine. And this remembering, this rising, it will be contagious. It will not need evangelism, for its fruit will draw the hungry. It will not need defense, for its peace will speak. It will not need approval, for it will be rooted in knowing. And the knowing will become being, and the being will become doing, and the doing will become creating, and the creating will become legacy. A legacy not built on titles or monuments, but on energy, on presence, a legacy of freedom, of light, of love in action. They will understand that they are not waiting for heaven, they are revealing it, not in some distant realm, but here, now, in the words they speak, in the thoughts they think, in the love they give, in the peace they carry, in the world they imagine, and therefore the world they make. And all of this from a single moment of decision. A moment when one soul dared to believe, I am who God says I am. And so it begins. The world will not recognize the moment it shifted, for it will not come with trumpet blasts or calendar alerts. It will come quietly, like a breath, like a whisper, like the moment a seed breaks open under soil, unseen but inevitable. And those who are attuned will know. They will feel the soft rearranging of the invisible structure beneath the visible world. They will feel a pull, not toward chaos, but toward clarity. And clarity will become the new compass. People will begin to move not by pressure, but by peace, not by external demands, but by inner resonance. They will stop asking, what shall I do, and begin to ask, what feels aligned with who I truly am. They will honor the whisper, and the whisper will guide them into green pastures, into places where provision is natural and joy is the default. The sense of identity will change, no longer shaped by wounds or roles, but by essence. People will begin to say things like, I am not my title, I am not my trauma, I am not my struggle, I am the awareness that watches, I am the presence that remains. And from this awareness a holy detachment will rise, not indifference but power, the power to choose again, to imagine again, to love again without fear of loss. And fear, yes, even fear, will begin to lose its grip. It will no longer be the master, it will no longer disguise itself as caution or wisdom. People will begin to recognize when their decisions are fear-based and begin to override them, not recklessly but righteously. They will understand that fear never tells the truth. It only distorts what is possible. And possibility will become the new language. New desires will emerge, not from ego, but from essence. Desires born from the soul, not from comparison. Desires that feel clean, light, joyful. And when these desires are honored, manifestation will accelerate, not because the laws have changed, but because resistance has fallen away. The inner tug of war between am I worthy and can I have it will end, and in its place will be a quiet knowing, it is already mine. The laws that govern this reality will become clearer, not as superstition, but as science of the soul. People will begin to experiment with their thoughts the way an artist experiments with color. They will begin to notice the link between assumption and outcome, between self-talk and circumstance, between expectation and experience, and they will no longer call it coincidence. They will call it law. They will see how feeling precedes form, how the world does not respond to need but to belief, to embodiment, that the answer does not come because one begged for it, it comes because one aligned with it. They will learn to feel the end, not merely hope for it, to dwell in the wish fulfilled, and the fulfillment will chase them down. Peace will take on a new meaning, not the absence of trouble, but the presence of deep, immovable trust. Trust that no matter what arises, all is well. That every event, whether pleasant or painful, is drawing them deeper into truth, into freedom, into the awareness of their eternal nature. Even the perception of suffering will begin to shift. People will no longer ask, why is this happening to me, but what is this showing me? They will stop labeling things as curses and begin seeing them as catalysts. The heartbreak that opened their heart, the delay that protected their path, the rejection that realigned their soul. They will stop fearing pain and start harvesting wisdom from it. This is not the end of pain, but the end of being enslaved by it. It will become natural to bless the past, to look back and say thank you, even for the hard moments, especially for the hard moments, because they became the fire that refined, the storm that awakened, the loss that cleared space for the new. People will speak differently about time. No longer, I'm running out of time, but I am exactly where I need to be. No longer, I missed my moment, but my moment is within me. They will begin to live from timelessness, not in denial of the clock, but in transcendence of it. They will see that divine timing is not on a calendar, it is a state of consciousness. And consciousness, this will become the most valuable currency. Not knowledge, not status, not possession, but awareness. The one who sees clearly will hold the true power, not because they dominate, but because they create, because they know how to hold a vision, because they know how to remain unmoved in the face of contradiction, because they no longer live reactively but creatively. They will stop reacting to the news and start responding with vision. Stop panicking about what is and start anchoring what will be. They will become thermostats, not thermometers, setting the tone, changing the room, shifting the energy, and others will feel it without explanation, without announcement. Something will simply feel different in their presence, and that difference will be God in expression. The division between spiritual and practical will vanish. Business will become sacred. Parenting will become prophetic. Art will become prayer. The grocery run will become an altar. Because people will no longer separate life into compartments. They will see the whole thing as holy. Sacred space will be redefined, not by walls or rituals, but by awareness. A person walking in alignment will carry sanctuary with them. Peace will go before them, order will follow them, favor will surround them, and it won't be superstition, it will be cause and effect. Because alignment creates acceleration, and acceleration is coming, not to overwhelm, but to deliver, to bring to pass what once seemed far away. The prayers whispered years ago will suddenly appear as answers. The visions once scribbled in journals will become reality. The seed planted in faith will break ground. And it will feel fast, but it will not be rushed. It will feel miraculous, but it will not be random. It will feel divine because it always was. And in this flow, people will stop trying to control outcomes. They will stop scripting every step. They will begin to live in trust, in curiosity. They will say, I don't know how, but I know it is unfolding. And this surrender, this faith in motion, will part waters. Even rest will change. It will no longer be seen as laziness or indulgence, but as power. as divine reset, as a tool of alignment. People will stop glorifying exhaustion, stop wearing burnout as a badge of honor. They will understand that rest is not the opposite of productivity, it is the fuel of it. And as they rest, they will hear. As they rest, they will receive. As they rest, they will reset their frequency to one of clarity, creativity, and confidence. Everything will begin to flow from being, not doing. Doing will still happen, but it will not lead. Being will lead, and the doing will follow naturally, effortlessly, from a place of alignment. No longer chasing, but attracting. No longer hustling. The old systems will tremble, not because of protest alone, but because of presence. Because awakened people cannot be controlled, they cannot be manipulated by fear, they cannot be lured by illusion. They are sovereign, they are clear, and that clarity is contagious. The hunger for truth will rise. The hunger for authenticity will rise. People will begin to feel sick from pretending. They will begin to crave realness like water. And those who are real, who are whole, who are integrated, will become beacons, not because they are perfect, but because they are true. True to who they are, true to what they carry, true to the light within. And that truth will liberate others. All of this awakening, this transformation, this quiet revolution, it will not come through force, it will not come through systems. It will come through people. Ordinary people who remember they are extraordinary. Everyday souls who remember they are eternal. Children of light who finally say yes to who they've always been. And when they say yes, the heavens respond, the earth responds, all of creation begins to conspire for their good. Because it always has been. Because it always will be. Because the moment you say, I am, all things begin to align with that name. The name above all names. The name that was given to you before you were born. The name that unlocks doors, parts seas, stills storms, and raises the dead. The name that is not outside of you, but lives in you. You speak it with every breath. And when you speak it in truth, you become what you've always been destined to be. And so, beloved, as we step into this unfolding reality, this divine unveiling, we do not tremble, we do not shrink, we do not delay. We rise, we walk with boldness, not because of who we were, but because of who we now remember ourselves to be. The light has come and we are its vessels. The call has sounded and we are its answer. Let every step forward be a declaration. I am aligned, I am awakened, I am available for the fullness of God within me. Let the world see not our striving, but our surrender, not our noise, but our knowing, not our fear, but our faith. For we are no longer waiting, we are creating, no longer hoping, we are embodying. The time is no longer coming, the time is now. The shift is not future, the shift is here. We are the evidence, we are the sign, we are the Word made flesh. And it is done.
In the depths of your consciousness dwells a power so immense, so absolute that it transcends all human understanding. This power, which I call your wonderful human imagination, is God Himself operating in the very depths of your soul. It is through this divine faculty that you are destined to receive precisely what you need, often before you are even aware of needing it. Many of you come here seeking specific manifestations, a new home, financial abundance, a loving relationship. But I tell you this, the ultimate gift you are about to receive transcends these external desires. You are about to receive the conscious realization of your own divinity, the awakening to the God within you, which is your true fundamental need. Now let me share with you a principle that forms the foundation of everything I teach. The entire universe is a manifestation of consciousness. There is nothing but consciousness. The world that appears so solid, so real to your senses, is simply consciousness externalized. Your physical senses, magnificent as they are, deceive you into believing in the reality of a material world existing independent of your perception. But I tell you, There is no such world. The world and all that it contains is simply your consciousness pushed out. Every person, every circumstance, every condition you encounter is a manifestation of your own wonderful human imagination. This truth is expressed in the ancient principle, as within, so without. Your inner world of thoughts, feelings, and assumptions is perpetually objectifying itself in your outer world of experience. Consider for a moment what this means. If the world you experience is a reflection of your consciousness, then to change your world you need only change your consciousness. This is the divine secret hidden in plain sight throughout the ages. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, said Paul. He understood that transformation begins not in the world of effects, but in the world of causes, in consciousness itself. Many of you struggle and strain against circumstances, fighting desperately to change conditions, unaware that those very conditions are but shadows, reflections of a state of consciousness you have unwittingly accepted as real. You are beating against the waves while ignoring the tide that produces them. Tonight I invite you to shift your attention from the outer to the inner, from effects to cause, from the world of shadows to the world of substance. For in doing so, you will receive what you truly need, the conscious awareness of your creative power, the realization that you are the operant power in your universe. Let me tell you a story that illustrates this principle. A dear friend of mine, a gentleman in his 50s, had spent decades pursuing financial security through traditional means, hard work, careful investment, prudent saving. Despite his diligence, he found himself facing financial ruin during an economic downturn. His business was failing, his investments had collapsed, and he saw no way forward. In desperation, he came to me seeking advice on practical financial strategies. But what he needed was not another financial plan. What he needed was a fundamental shift in consciousness. I shared with him the principle I'm sharing with you tonight. That his outer world was simply his consciousness objectified. That to change his circumstances, he needed to change his concept of himself. I instructed him to construct a simple scene that would imply the fulfillment of his desire, financial abundance. The scene he chose was mundane yet profound. He imagined himself sitting at his desk, opening his mail to find checks and statements reflecting abundant wealth. He imagined the feeling of relief, of security, of freedom that such abundance would bring. And most importantly, he imagined these feelings with such intensity that they became more real to him than the apparent reality of his circumstances. Night after night, as he fell asleep, he would enter this imaginal scene, dwelling in it, experiencing it as real, feeling the naturalness of wealth and abundance. And during his waking hours, when confronted with evidence contrary to his desire, he would silently affirm, this may be the fact, but it is not the truth. The truth is what I have felt and experienced in my imagination. Within 6 weeks, extraordinary changes began to manifest in his world. A forgotten investment suddenly yielded unexpected returns. A business opportunity emerged that perfectly aligned with his skills and resources. A relative with whom he had lost contact passed away, leaving him a substantial inheritance. Within 3 months, his financial situation had completely transformed, not through struggle and strain, but through a simple yet profound shift in consciousness. Now, you might say, but Neville, these events were coincidental. They would have happened regardless of his imaginal acts. To this I would respond, there are no coincidences in a universe governed by law. What appears as coincidence is simply the natural operation of the law of consciousness. For remember, everything is consciousness. Every event, every circumstance, every condition is consciousness objectified. The inheritance, the investment return, the business opportunity, these were not random events, but the natural, lawful manifestation of a shift in consciousness. They were the bridge of incidents, the means by which the imaginal act was translated into physical reality. And they appeared precisely when needed, often before my friend even realized he needed them. And this brings me back to our theme tonight. You're about to receive what you didn't even know you needed. The universe, which is your own wonderful human imagination externalized, is infinitely more intelligent, more resourceful, more loving than your